Good morning to all. Now we shall discuss about the topic DNA as genetic material. In earlier classes we have already studied what is DNA. So DNA can be expanded as deoxyribonucleic acid. The term genetic material means transfer of information from one generation to another generation. So now we'll enter into the topic DNA as genetic material. The genetic material should possess these properties. So those properties are replication, that is, it has to make its own copy for giving the next dividing new cells. The second point, storage of some information for the expression traits, and the expression traits should be in the controlled manner. Change in a controlled way, that is, all cells will undergo some mutation, but it should also be in the controlled way. And the material which is going to act as the genetic material should be in the stable form. So later, to prove that certain material is going to be acting as a genetic material, so initially DNA as genetic material was being proved by various researchers. So namely three group researchers, namely Frederick Griffith in the year 1928 did the experiment based on bacterial transformation. The second group was Avery McLeod and MC Cathy done the experiment on the transformation model, and the third group was Alfred Hershey and Chase in the year 1952 did the experiments using the bacteriophages. So first we will see the experiment done by Frederick Griffith in the year 1928. The experiment on the bacterial transformation method. So here the discovery based on the chemical nature of the gene began in the 1928. So the Frederick Griffith is a British scientist who was trying to figure out certain types of bacteria to produce pneumonia. So he selected the model organism Streptococcus pneumoniae, a bacteria which is capable of existing in the two morphological forms, namely R strain and S strain. The R strain is the rough strain and it is a harmless or irrelevant in nature. The S strain is smooth strain and which is harmful and relevant in nature. And now in this slide we can see the microscopic view of the R strain and S strain respectively. So in the Griffith experiment, Griffith took 4 different groups of experiments. In the first experiment, he used live S cells, that is the relevant form of S cells has been taken and injected into the mice. The mice was dead. And in the second group, he took the live R strains and he injected into the mice. So the mice survived. In the third group, the heat killed S strains were taken and it was injected into the mice, and in this group also the mice survived. In the fourth group, he took a critical experiment to confirm the activity. So in this what he did, he took live R strain and heat killed S strain. So when he injected the mixture into the mice died. And after that the autobiopsy or the tissues were taken and it was studied. So in that the live S strain was recovered. And a conclusion of the Griffith experiment. So when the R strain was injected in the mouse was alive. And when S strain was injected, the mouse died. And when heat killed S strain and mouse was live, and the mouse survived. And when R strain and the heat killed S strains, the mouse dies. He concluded that harmless R strain of the bacteria was changed into the disease causing bacteria by the DNA of the dead and harmful S strain. So he called the process as transformation. So transformation is a process where some material is being transformed from one cell to another cell because of the ability to cause disease was inherited by the offspring of the transformed bacteria. And finally, the experiment Griffith concluded that the transforming factor had to be a gene. Later. So in the later classes we will be discussing the remaining two experiments. Thank you.